Fatso Radio. Hey folks, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? How you doing? My name is Carlo Volpe, and it's my pleasure to come to you each and every Friday night, talk to you about fat. That's right. This episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. VolpeMartialArts.com. That's right, Volpe, V-O-L-P-E, martialarts.com. It's KW's newest, hottest Kung Fu and Hapkido martial arts school. KW, Kitchener and Waterloo. That's right. If you're listening from all over the world, sorry guys, we have virtual classes. Hit them up, VolpeMartialArts.com. That's right. If you're in the KW, Kitchener, Waterloo, even the Cambridge and the Guelph area, and you're looking for a martial arts school, talk to Sifu Adam. That's my brother, Sifu Adam Volpe. Lifelong passion for martial arts. Hapkido, a Korean martial art, Kung Fu, a Chinese martial art. A fusion is amazing, and Sifu Adam brings you the best and his passion, his love for the martial arts. I'm there as well. I'll bring you my love, my passion. I'm not a Sifu, but I'm working my butt off, and I want to train with you. Come train with us. VolpeMartialArts.com. All right, folks. Tonight, Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Just a short little episode to say I love you. And what do we do in the holidays? I hope everybody has a safe holidays. Hope everybody is staying safe and staying healthy. And hope you're around to listen to the next episode and the next episode and the next episode. I love you all. FatsoRadio@gmail.com. Lily, do the intro. Fatso Radio. Blah, 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 blah. Have a good night. Peace.
Fatso, the really good podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show. Yeah. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Fatso Radio. My name is Carlo Volpe. I come to you every single Friday, and today, no different. It's Friday. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas. I got my Christmas hat on, my Santa Claus hat. And welcome to Fatso Radio, the place where we're talking about fat, usually. Not always, but we usually talk about fat and why it's not bad for you. Animal fat specifically. Dietary fat's not bad for you. It's not the enemy. We're not always talking about that on this radio. We're not always talking about that. Sometimes we talk about what's in season. Today, we're talking about Christmas. We're talking about, I'll probably still get the fat in there. I'll still get the ketogenic way in there. I'll still get to talk about carnivore in there somehow. But really, what is it today? It's Christmas, folks. It's a Friday, but it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. If you're not celebrating Christmas, that's okay. Merry Christmas to you anyway. If you are celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. And whatever it means to you, Merry Christmas to you in that way, because that's what's important, right? I'm not here to piss anybody off. I'm not here to, win any friends either. I'm just here to just to be honest with you. And I wish you have a great holiday season. This is a time for you to rest. If it is, enjoy the rest. If this is time for you to work. I mean, this is a different time for everybody, right? This is a time where I've been working a lot in the last couple of weeks. I get a couple of days off now, right? And hopefully I'll be working again. It's a busy time of the year. People are working. It's COVID, so not everybody's working. So if you are working, we probably consider ourselves fortunate. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we do. But in the grand scheme of things, if we are working, we're bringing in an income for our families, and we're feeding our families, and we're help supporting, even if it's a little bit, right? Every little bit helps. So Merry Christmas 2020. It's weird. It's I know this is COVID. It's not only different because we've been on lockdown, and if you're here in Ontario, most of my listeners are here in Ontario. We're going into another lockdown tomorrow, right? Which is Boxing Day, and for another 30 days. Honestly, it doesn't change a whole lot. I mean, you're not going to probably go to the store as much as you did before, or when you do, there may be some lineups. There's a lot more limitations on capacity in stores and stuff like that, but a lot of things have kind of been that way for a long time. So I'm confused, as a lot of people are, on what to do, what the best practice is. But I've, at the same time, been kind of doing the same thing all along, which is, try and be hygienic, try and wash your hands, try and watch if you sneeze or you cough, try and wear a mask. Actually, always wear a mask when you're outside, or when you're in a public place. We always do that, of course. Not much has changed from that perspective. There's all talk about the vaccine. When's it available? Who's going to get it first? Are you going to take it? Is it going to be safe? I don't know. I heard on the radio today, the government of Canada says it's safe. Okay, the government of Canada says it's safe. Just like every other thing, right? The government of Canada says it's safe. So I can't say that it's not going to be safe, but at the same time, the government of Canada says you should eat this and drink this and do this and live this way. So who knows, right? I'm not huge on vaccines from the sense of, I guess, I can't say I'm not huge on vaccines. I take that back. I'm not big on the flu shot. And I think of this in a similar way as I do to the flu shot. I know it's not the same, of course, and there's different much, more severe ramifications for a lot of people than the flu. But for other people, it's similar ramifications to the flu. But so that really doesn't have anything to do with it. I guess the idea that I don't take a flu shot every year. I've never had a flu shot as long as I've lived. And I think that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know exactly what's even in it. I don't know anything about what's in it. I don't know the side effects. I don't know anything like that. But I think that if I've survived, I don't know if I've had COVID, right? We haven't, if I haven't been sick at all in the last year, or not sick, not anything sick enough to report, right? But I haven't been sick in years and years and years. I can't remember, like it's been years where I've been so sick where like, you're out of bed where you feel like you just can't move. You're either bedridden or kind of not bedridden, like flu-like symptoms where you get the chills and you get the shakes. I haven't felt like that in a long, long time. Guess sniffle maybe for a day or two, and that's about it. Usually, this turns back to this kind of spins back to the whole idea of diet and all of that. Usually, when I feel the worst, or usually when I feel anything at all, to be honest with you, whether it's a tickle in my throat, or whether it's congestion, right, in my nose, my sinus area, or like I said, like a chest cold or a chest congestion. Either way, either time when I feel like something like that, it's usually around something has changed, either a party or either a big event or either something. For me personally, honestly, something something has changed a lot. Either something very stressful, usually comes with something that's very stressful, comes with different food as well. I can't say that's always for everybody, but for me, if I'm in a stressful situation, usually there's some food around because there's food around in every situation. And usually I don't make the best choices for food when I'm in a stressful situation. And that a couple times really in the last couple of years that I can even think of has kind of maybe brought me to times where I feel like I've been sick or had a cold or anything like that. But honestly, it's so rare that I get sick that, and I'm not, knocking on wood, but I attribute that to my diet, right? So that's where I'm going with it. But this holiday season, right? What do we do? How do we stay healthy and all of that stuff? So I want to talk about that. How do we stay healthy? First of all, though, I want to say a time for thank you and a time for gratitude to my friends, my family, to the listeners, to the viewers, to people who don't even listen, just to the people who support, the people who listen, and the people who view, and the people who support, and people. This is not only my way to talk to people about a way of eating and a way of having a diet or a way of just a way of eating or a diet and a nutritional way of philosophy. This is not the only purpose of kind of a Fatso radio. Really is also just to communicate with my friends, communicate with my family, communicate with people that would otherwise not hear my message, but maybe would like to hear my message, or really just to make more friends and more family, because the world is a big place, right? But this is how we connect. So I want to share, like every other episode, my tips, my tricks, how do you get through these episodes or how do you get through these seasons? But again, first of all, thank you for all the listeners. How's my hat going here? Thank you for all the listeners. Thank you for all the viewers. Thank you for all the support, my family, my friends. Like I said, people that don't even know me, thank you. Sometimes there's 100 viewers, sometimes there's 1,000, sometimes there's 1, or sometimes there's 5. It's different. And I like that. But thank you. It's a way for me to keep on doing what I'm doing. I like feedback, of course, right? Let me know what you think of what I'm doing. If there's anything you think I should change, if there's anything you think I need to maybe do to make this better, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. But really, it's a way for me to say thanks to everybody, to say hello to everybody, right? Oftentimes, especially with this year, I found there's a lot of different ways of communicating. We have a lot of different, methods or modalities or whatever to do it. But sometimes it's so hard to just coordinate, right? The best way, or to, just to sync up and line up the best way to do it. And so I figure, sometimes this is a good way to say hi to everybody. So Merry Christmas 2020. This has been a crazy year. It's been a crazy year. There's things we can do, folks, to be healthy. There's things we can do to stay healthy, to stay happy. People always say stress. People always say, try and lower your stress, try and lower your stress, try and lower your stress. One of the best ways is just go outside, be in nature. When you go into nature, you're walking, you're getting exercise there, but you're getting fresh air. It's good for your body, but you're also just getting away from the hustle and bustle. You're getting away. So walking is amazing. I keep on saying that. You can do that any time of the day, any time of the year. and it's a good time to reflect too. This is a good time to rest, like I was saying earlier. If you're working now, or if you're off now for a couple of days, it's a good time to reflect. If you're religious, of course, reflect in the real reason, right? The real reason for Christmas, right, is baby Jesus. You know what I mean? It's funny because I like saying baby Jesus, but the Santa Claus thing and everything else is just obviously it's commercial and it's taken over the world and all this stuff. But if you do truly believe in Christmas, then this is a very, very huge day, right? And a huge holiday, and Merry Christmas to everybody. But staying together, it's hard. It's hard to eat healthy when all of your relatives get together normally. I guess this year's different, right? But maybe it's easier this year. Maybe it's easier in one sense because you're not having every single dessert that every single aunt and uncle has ever made, and any single cousin has ever made, and you're not having every course meal because everybody's not bringing their course meals. But I think we're having a lot of people order in, a lot of people take out, a lot of people just getting fast food and food that is otherwise probably not the healthiest, right? You can still get food healthy from restaurants and other places like that, but I think there's a lot of that going on. So as well, a lot of people aren't exercising as much as it gets colder, right? So how do we do it? How do we stay healthy? I think the mindset is going to be the best thing to get us through the holidays. So what I mean by that is, I'm not one usually that's good to say, or sorry, how do I even say that? Usually I'm not the person that's going to say, everything in balance, guys, have the good with the bad, take it, I don't have to exercise sometimes, you can eat this bad food. I'm usually the person to say, if you want to get results, stay on a path, do it, be tough and all that. Okay. But for this holiday, I got to say, and for maybe it's every holiday, I think as time goes on, as I'm starting to realize more and more, is that that balance is important, because a balance is even more important, I guess, or it's more, you need to exercise that balance more during the holidays, because during the regular time of the year, it's not as challenging, right? You don't have the excuse of your family, or you don't have the draw of your family, your friends, or even just during COVID times like today, or even times of isolation like today in COVID. There's still traditional things that come up in certain foods, whatever. So I guess the idea of what I'm trying to say is to get you through the holidays, right? And to get people through the holidays, not just get us through, but get us through in a happy way, in a more peaceful way, in an accepting way, is that it's the long road, or the long battle, or the long game. I think that's maybe something that we can look forward to. Like, even if you're not religious, you can look at the birth, of Jesus and the birth of Christ, and to the Savior of course, of Christians, right? You can look at that as really the most hopeful time and the most optimistic time ever for these people, right, who believed, right, and people today who still believe, and so maybe we can look at this time as that as well, as this is a very, very hopeful time, and it's a time of new beginnings for a lot of people. The new year is coming around the corner, but it's also a time, like I said, to reflect and relax. So at this time, you can think, you can rest, right? You're going to eat the food that's comfort food. It's snowy outside. You're not going to want to shovel your walkway, your driveway. Hey, shovel your walkway for your postal workers, for all the people delivering and coming up to your door and everything, and all the essential service workers, whether they're inside, outside, or whatever. Thank you, by the way, again. And again, folks, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional in any sense. And I'm going to give you advice. I'm just giving you personal Carlo advice. But yeah, like, how do you stay healthy? How do we stay balanced with this all? First of all, connect with your family. That's the best way. If you can't see your grandma, your grandpa, your aunts and uncles, your mom and your dad, your sisters, your brothers, even if you can't see your own children sometimes because of COVID, right? And because especially the holidays makes it even harder, connect with them in a way. Connect with them in any way possible, because even though connecting over the phone is not as good, I don't like talking on the phone. Believe it or not, I don't like talking on the phone. I never have. I like the video. I like it a little bit more, but face to face is the best, right? And sometimes I can do text for a while, back and forth, but nothing beats talking, right? And face to face. And talking on the phone is hard. But what I'm getting at is any method that you can use, to communicate, it's worth it, because staying connected to the people that we love and the people that are in our lives is what really helps us, especially during the holidays. The holidays is a hard time for a lot of people, and I've probably said this in other episodes before, in other years before, but this is episode number 9. I think it's episode number 99. Yeah, episode number 99, and so I've been doing this for a little while, almost 2 years now, and and I love it. It's changing, right? It's changing, and because time is changing, I'm changing. My interests are changing. My time is changing. My availability is a little bit changing, right? Of course, I still have time for this, but it's it's pivoting. So things may stay the same with Fatso Radio for next season, next 100 episodes, whatever, or it may stay the same, like I said, or it may change a lot. If you have ideas, let me know as well. FatsoRadio@gmail.com. FATSO Fatso Radio, no question mark. So just Fatso Radio, no question mark. Fatso Radio, no question mark @gmail.com. But yeah, like I said, if it changes, great. If it doesn't change, I don't know. You'll let me know. Like I said, all 2 or 3 listeners can't be wrong. But yeah, how do we stay healthy now during the holidays? We're going to take into consideration the balance, the idea that we live once, right? We have our family. We want to appreciate them because they could be gone tomorrow. We always say that, and we always mean it, right? But we always need to remind ourselves of that because it's true. And a snap of the fingers, in a blink of an eye, in a millisecond, folks, things change. And I say things can change in a second. They do change in a second. They do all the time. They change by the second. They change. And it reminds us, and it can't remind us. It's one of those things that you cannot be reminded enough. Hey, life is short. Like, someone says that to you, you're like, yeah, I know, whatever. Maybe you get to a certain age where, like, every time I hear it now, I'm like, oh, you're right, man. You're right. Or woman, or whoever says it. Maybe when I was a kid, I didn't hear that. I guess I didn't see it because you don't realize that life is short. But now, as you realize it, as I'm getting older, the ripe old age of 42, I think I'm 42. Yeah, 42. And someone says to me, life is short. It could happen any second, right? I read it. I get it. I'm just rambling on now. Okay. What I want to do, folks, what kind of advice can I give you, or what kind of talk can I blabber about just how to stay healthy as well? I mean, during the holidays, right? So I'm not going to tell you to stop eating junk food. I'm not going to tell you this is your time to hit your diet and get on your, watch your carbs and make sure you get under 30 grams to stay in ketogenic state so your ketones are high and you burn fat all day long. It's holidays. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to do. And you're going to do it on your own and just have a good time, right? Do it within reason. Do it to the point where you enjoy yourself and not to the point where you hurt yourself, right? Like I said, I could eat a piece of pizza and it's not going to bother me. But if I eat 3 or 4 pieces of pizza, I'm not going to feel well, right? But if I'm not, even if I have the one, I'm not going to have any progress at all. I'm not progress, like I said, in just losing weight, but progress in even feeling well. I don't feel well if I eat something like that, right? But that could be the same with everybody. If you're drinking alcohol, drink whatever alcohol is best for you. Go for that. Whatever alcohol is easier maybe for you to digest. A lot of people find over the holidays that their system is taxed. I don't want to say they're toxed up. You're blocked up. You're eating everything. Your liver can't take it. Your gallbladder can't take it. Quite honestly, a lot of people think that you're eating a lot of fat and your gallbladder can't take it, or your liver can't take the amount of fat. I think for a lot of people, they're eating too many carbohydrates, and it's hard on their system. Especially there's a lot of pastries, eating a lot of fibers, a lot of grains. And fiber is the hardest thing to digest, right? Because it actually you don't digest most fiber, right? The insoluble, the undigestible fibers. So it's harder to digest, of course, right? As opposed to, and compared to something like protein, animal protein and meat, and even fat, which is completely digestible, right? You digest almost all of it. And that's why it carries the nutrients we have. And that's why it's so important. That's why it's part of our diet. It's essential for our diet. But fiber is not essential for our diet. Anyway, to get away from that, how can you do it the best way? Just eat the stuff that you can get away with. That's just it. Pick and choose, right? It's about balance, and it's about learning. It's about how to stay kind of happy and healthy and everything like that. But this is also time to reflect. So if you're not going to think about your diet, but just going to eat whatever, that's cool. Then think about something else. Plan. You have a few days off. Plan a plan. What is your New Year's resolution, right? I want to talk next week about New Year's resolutions. I want to talk about what my plan is for 2021. I have some big plans. I have a couple what ifs, right? A couple forks in the road, maybe a couple options, a couple goals that I'm going to go towards, and then see what happens. Throw them in the air and try for like 5 different things and see what happens. I like New Year's for that reason, for many reasons, but one of the reasons I like New Year's is because it's a time to start again. It's a kind of it's a not for everybody, but for me, I like it. And it's a time to challenge yourself again, right? I am all about challenging myself. I'm all about eternal, lifelong growth, right? And it's painful. I know it's painful. It hurts. It hurts me. It hurts you. It hurts everybody. But I'm all about it because I feel like that's the only way we're going to get through things. I feel like if we ever have to come into a point where in our lives where we have are challenged and we have to be extra tough, I think that challenging yourself beforehand gets you prepared, right? I don't even know what that means, but I'm just saying you got to get yourself outside your comfort zone. You got to get yourself tough, and you got to do things that are tough and do things that are hard for you. Hard on you, I guess not hard on you, but they're hard because they're good for you, right? So the balance, the plan. What are you going to do for the new year, right? Plan out something. Maybe you're going to do something for January. I have a New Year's resolution. Maybe you're going to have 5 things. Maybe you're going to do something every month. If you're a type of person where you like to change it up, do something different every month. Maybe have a little gimmick or a little, not a gimmick, but like a little idea or a little theme for every month. Or if you want to lose a certain amount of weight, if that's your thing, because it's keeping you from being healthy or whatever. Say you have 100 pounds to lose and you want to break down by a certain amount of pounds every single month or whatever. Do that. Now's the time to think about it, right? Now's a good time to think about it while you're still sitting and eating your shit and watching Netflix. And I get it. We're doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing, right? Even if you are doing that, try and get out and try and exercise. I'm never going to tell you that you can out exercise a bad diet. I'm the complete opposite. You need to eat. You need to get your diet in order first and foremost. It's the base of everything, and then your exercise is on top of that, right? You'll feel better on top of that. But exercise also has different purpose, right? Not just for your health. Exercise is actually hard on your body, right? So it's for pleasure. It's for other challenges. It's for educating yourself, or it's for challenging yourself in through other types of growth, right? It's not necessarily the best thing for your body is to always exercise. A certain amount of exercise is fantastic for your body, right? And then the rest of it is really actually hard on your body. That's why rest is so important, right? You can do a certain amount of exercise at a low level exercise, and you really don't need much rest at all. And you can do kind of like a slow speed, I guess, walking. And that's one of the things that I love about walking so much, that you can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And you can just sleep at night and you can wake up the next morning and you can just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk, right? Whether it's hours or whether it's just 40 minutes or whether it's 5, 6, 8 hours, 10 hours, or whatever it is, you can do it and you can walk a long time. And running, I think for a lot of people, it's the same thing. It probably takes longer to build up to that, but it's a great way to do that. So when you're thinking about this new year and you're thinking about, even though you're in lockdown, right? If you were in lockdown in November, or in Ontario rather, not November, but in December up until over in January, if you're in lockdown, you can still walk around the neighborhood. Here's my advice. Don't do what a lot of people did the first lockdown, right? Don't just buy baking supplies. Flour was off the shelves. And don't make bread every single day because we remembered how to make bread as a species. Holy shit. In 2020, our culture, our people remembered how to make bread. So, I mean, you could do that or whatever, but it's not great for your health, right? But it is a good time to, like I said, months ago, right? Months ago when I was talking about the lockdown during the initial stages, it's a great time to dig up those old recipes. It's a great time to talk to your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunts and uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your children, if they're doing something that you forgot about because they learned from your mother or your father, right? Because you were the dummy like me, or you're the dummy like your dad or your mother or whatever. But learn it, how to cure meat, how to cure pickle stuff, how to salt and whatever. Perfect example of cured food is baklava, right? So if you don't know what baklava is, if you haven't had baklava, even if you know what it is but you haven't had baklava, specifically Italian version of baklava, there are many versions, bacalhau, and different Spanish, Portuguese versions, which are amazing as well. But I'm talking only about the Italian version of baklava right now. You should try it. I want to talk about all the other versions as well because they're all amazing too. But definitely you should try it. Baklava is basically salted codfish, right? People have been curing and salting to preserving fish, meats, proteins forever. Codfish, salted codfish, baklava in Italian is just a word for cod, right? It comes salted, whether it's in a bag or a crate or in pieces or whether it's fillets, but it comes salted and deboned sometimes, and it's dried and it's dry, right? It will last essentially a year in the package. The package says a year, probably longer than that. The drier it is, probably longer it will last. But basically, to cook it and to use it, you fill it full of water, you rinse it, basically rinse it for 24 hours. Keep on rinsing. You change the water as much as you want. You change the water basically at least 3 or 4 times. Everybody's a little different, but basically, when you're done, the fish is reconstituted, and it's like fresh fish, but it's cooked. It's like cooked fish. It's amazing, right? You can use it in any dish you want. It has amazing flavor. So why am I talking about codfish? Why am I talking about baklava? Because last night was Christmas Eve, and last night our tradition in my family was to eat fish on Christmas Eve, right? The Italian portion of my family brought the tradition of eating fish on Christmas Eve, because the idea was to fast on Christmas Eve, not to eat any meat. Now, we didn't really take that perfectly by the letter, I think, because we didn't really fast, right? We basically feasted on Christmas Eve, and that which is perfect, because it works well with my kind of diet way of eating, which is, instead of kind of a fasting diet, it's a feasting diet, right? So I don't fast all day long and then I eat once a day. I basically just feast, I guess, fasting, feasting, yeah. But anyway, so baklava is salted codfish, right? We make it on Christmas Eve with other fish dishes, but it's amazing because my sweetheart Fatima has a Lithuanian background, and they also have fish in their kuchas, which is a Christmas Eve as well. Right? And traditionally, I think there's 7 dishes, but it has fish, and they have different types of fish dishes where there's onions and tomato sauce, and their parents use ketchup in their fish, and it sounds weird, but it's amazing. And vinaigrettes and these and potato salad they make, and it's just amazing stuff. So that's Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Day today. Traditionally growing up, Christmas Eve was always at my dad's house, and then Christmas Day, because I think it was always at my dad's house. But yeah, we traditionally had the fish and the baklava and all that stuff. My grandmother was there, and then Christmas Day we went to my Uncle Vince's house. Sometimes we swapped it up over the years, of course, back and forth. But then on Christmas Day, we traditionally had meat, right? Turkey, ham, potatoes, and the whole thing. This year we didn't have turkey, which I love turkey. It's my preferred bird. Wow. Over chicken, at least, it's preferred. But I do like, I like duck. I don't know what other kind of birds I like. I don't know, goose. Can I eat goose? I don't think you can eat goose. Yeah, you probably can, just not Canada goose. Goose liver, pate, foie gras, I think, right? Anyway, what was I talking about? Christmas Day. We didn't eat turkey, so today we just ate beef. We had a big prime rib roast, and then I sliced it into steaks, which was amazing. We put that on the barbecue. My man, it was amazing. Had that. My wife had a steak. My daughter had a steak. My other daughter didn't have steak today, but she ate meatballs, which is, I'm happy. When she eats beef, she doesn't eat beef that much. Lily eats beef, but not as much. We all ate it today. It was great. So I'm off for work a couple days, right? Next week is New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. And the New Year's, folks, like I said, another year, another time to get another time to make a list. It's a good time, a checklist time. It's a good reset, revamp, whatever you're doing, whether it's work, whether it's play, whether it's your sport. For me, like I said, I've been working for the last few weeks on this new job, and I'm learning a lot. I'm outside, I'm on the road, whether it's in the snow, whether it's in the rain, and I'm getting a lot of exercise, and there's a lot to learn, right? So I think I'm doing all right. It's hard, it's hard, like any other new job, it's hard, but as it goes, you learn more, and it's manageable, and it's okay, and you make mistakes, and you say, oh shit, my bad, and you try and fix it if you can, and if you can't fix it, you try and fix it in your head so you don't do it again. But a lot of things are fixable, right? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is just be honest, and you do your best, and you learn. That's the best way to get along in life, I think. It's not always easy, but that's the best way. Folks, Merry Christmas. What else do I want to leave you with today? Well, happy holidays to you, whatever you're celebrating. Be safe. Connect with your family. I always talk about the village, and it takes a village, and I appreciate everybody. That sent me Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all of that stuff. Like I said, it's not the time to be hard on yourself. It's not the time to say, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't look good or I don't feel good or whatever. If you don't look as good as you want to, and if you don't feel as good as you want to, that's good. And that's not good, but I understand it, and we can work with that, right? But rest the holidays. January is a great time to start new. January is a great time. The days are getting longer, more sunlight, right? We can do it, folks. Thank you for listening to Fatso Radio. Thank you for watching Fatso Radio. Thank you for your love. Thank you. I love everybody so much. And next week, I'm going to talk to you. I think it's episode 100 next week. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I might do New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Probably New Year's Day. We'll be chatting. FatsoRadio@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. I love everybody. Thank you so much. I love you and nobody else. You especially. Merry Christmas. Here's my Santa hat. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Violet, I don't know. I have a point over there. She's not over there. Sometimes I point over there, but she's going to say thanks for listening. Have a great night. Merry Christmas. I love you. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show.